Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well rested, and had a great weekend. Monday, the 4th of March. It'll be April and June, and at least the warmer weather's on the way anyway, certainly where I am in the world. So, H, how you doing? How you doing? So, I've been looking at this market this morning, trying to figure out what's going on. So, whether there's a possible channel. We've had two legs, apart from a couple of ticks. So I'm not too sure about this downtrend. Just looking on the NQ at the moment. How you doing, Rodian? Just looking on the NQ at the moment. People have been keeping an eye on Bitcoin. It's gone mad, hasn't it? I think it's about to hit all-time highs. Where is it now? Let me have a look. Still floating around just over $65,000. Unbelievable, isn't it? Absolutely. I didn't see 5 minutes ago since it was $15,000. So we're not far off all-time highs. Was it 67, 68, something like that? Unbelievable. So, Indy, how you doing, buddy? Speedy, how you doing, pal? So, yeah, I'm not sure about this. Let's make the bottoms fit and then see if we can the top sort of have any luck. No, I'm not a fan of this, in all fairness. Oh, quick drop on the NQ there. Let's make this a bit bigger. So we're retesting this bottom again. So are we going to push it? It's hard to say because price is down at the moment. So Let me have a look. Exponential, how you doing, matey? How you doing? So we got. It's hard to say at the moment. It just looks like two legs. This does look like it may go back up, but at the moment we're below the EMA. So I'm just staying out of anything at the moment. Because at the moment we do seem to be looping down. Now whether this is just two legs and then we're going to push back up, I don't know. I'm not sure, but at the moment this is slightly on the bearish side. Yeah, this could change at any time at the moment. See, so okay, there's a big bearish bar there which is triggered. Now if that pushes up, there's a higher low there. My only slight issue is we're looping down, so I don't really want to be going long at the moment. Doesn't mean it's not going to push up, but this is just, no, it's not pushed up. I thought that was going to hightail and push up, stop that out. So there is a second entry long there, but in all fairness, will it work? Possibly, but I just don't like the fact we're making lower highs at the moment, so I'm just not ready to go long yet because you could get stung there. I mean, look at this. If that's going to continue to down, forget that going up. That's going to come down as well. So if you took that, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a failure. It's a second entry long. So I get why you might go long there. It may work, but I just don't like what's going on here. This looks like it's coming down. I can't see this going up. Let's have a look. So if you took that, what's the store? What's the stores? Yeah, so you'd have struggled to get half a point there. Let's say there's a tick above it, so we've hit 3/4. At the moment, this is starting to look very bearish, so I can't see that unless something changes. Chris, how you doing, mate? How you doing? I mean, it looked kind of attractive in a strange way, but that's why I like this. After two legs down, you may think this looks like we're bottoming, and it does in all fairness, it really does. I bet there's some traders struck there. It's got stuck there. So let's have a look. I get why he took that. So, okay, so we've got two nice legs down. We clearly look like we're bottoming. We push up. There's a higher low there. I get why people are taking that, thinking we're going to push up, but what happens? It triggers you, it goes up 3 ticks, turns down and stops you out. That's another reason why I like having this. Having the NQ is invaluable because this to me looks like we're going up. This to me looks like we're coming down. So while I've got disagreeing opinions on both of these charts. The best thing to do is to stay out of that. Very tempting, I get it. I mean, leg up, 2 legs back, second entry long, failure. Why wouldn't it go up for another leg up here? But it just goes to show how useful having this NQ can be. I mean, we're clearly in a downtrend there, so you wouldn't want to go long there. I'm not saying this isn't going to change, but we can only sort of make our decisions. I mean, there is a possibility this could fail. So we've had a touch here and a touch here, and a little bit of support is coming into play there. So there is a possibility this could push up back into here, but at the moment we're in a downtrend here, so longs are out the way. It is holding here, so maybe it will eventually move up. But if you'd have taken that one, which is a shame, because I bet a few traders would have taken that one, and I sort of understand why, but for me, it's a little bit far away. I mean, at the end of the day, Max says if you take a trade, you've got to be out before the highs. That tick one tick above the highs, so it did what it was supposed to a degree. I mean, this does look like a bull flag, so this is interesting. Let's see if we get a higher low here. I'd like that to continue up. So we've got a channel with a break. Now, if it's more of a range day, then not necessarily need for this to come down and make a new low. It could just continue on up. But at the moment, I just need to see what's going on with this. If it's going to come down and make a new low, forget going long here. If it's not and it's just coming back in the range, then if we can get an offer here, then maybe. I'd expect that to come up probably to about the open. Not ready to go long just at the moment until this sorts itself out. If it pushes above and sits on top of there, then that may interest me, but it could still just come down. I would suggest what I'm looking at here is quite possibly a bigger channel. Unfortunately, that was the only entry. I just wasn't ready to go long there, but it would have worked. I mean, 1, 2, you could call that a triple test, I suppose, but it's a bit congested, but that would have made you a couple of points. But look at this. If that comes bearish and we get a lower high here, that isn't going up anymore. Gap at yeah. Yeah, see, look at this. This is now looking precarious. This is looking, if we can get a lower high here, I'd suggest that is for sure coming down. So let me just tidy this up a bit. I think we can forget that now. I'd say currently we're quite likely just ranging. Yeah, that would make a bit of sense. That makes a bit of sense. So if we get a bit of a pullback here and a lower high on the NQ, if we get a lower high on the NQ and I think we're coming down, then I may look for a short here. So we got a perfectly fitting channel there. I'm really happy with that. Let's see what happens here. Wow. That is interesting. 1, 2, 3. You could call that a triple test. Tempting to go long there. I mean, this is looking, but the trouble is, I don't think that's a bad long. What's the size of it? 11 ticks. I'd probably expect that to get up there. This is going up by the looks of things. My slight concern is we got a leg down, we make 1, 2 legs up, and then this comes tumbling down. I don't think it will. I'm just not going long there, just right in the middle of this lot. It's a little bit above it. Is it going to work? Possibly. But it's not for me, that one. Yeah, I'd say that's probably going to get to these highs here. It's too late now. Unfortunately, this has come down and it's pushing up. So I'd say those highs are quite likely. So that may not have been a bad one. You may have called it a bounce. The trouble is, you'd be going long right at the top of this. So for me, that's no good. Although I suspect there's going to be a couple of points out of it. If you went there, where's a couple of points right at the top? So that line there. This has come down quickly, retested that on the NQ. Let's put that there. You got some touches along there. It's come down, nicked the bottom of there, and pushed up. So I'd expect that to hit this level at least. So leg up, bit of sideways, leg up. So if you did take that, you went for 2 points. It's on that top line there. So a few ticks away. 1 more tick, and you'd be out there. There we go. So that did work for 2 points. It wasn't a terrible trade. I don't think you could say there's 1 touch, there's a second touch, there's a third touch. I wouldn't have taken it on its own merit, but based on what I was seeing on the NQ, leg up, little pullback, leg up, as that come down and touch that, I may have got in on a limit order, but my only slight issue with that, it's a bit big bar for me, and it's right at the top of there. So, but it did what I thought it might do. Leg up, sideways, leg up. Okay, so we got a channel down, 2 legs up, lower high. Let's see what happens now. It could still come down. It's certainly possible. I mean, we got a touch there and a touch there. Certainly feasible. Channel down there, 2 attempts to go higher, lower high there. Let's see what happens here. If we can get a lower high here, depending on what I'm seeing here, this is starting to look a bit bearish, I think. We close below there, a lower high here I might get into. So channel down, 2 legs up, lower high, 3 red bars in a row. So see if we get a lower high here. So clear 2 legs up. Just want to make sure we're not going to push back in there. I don't think we're going to now. Come on, tick above there. Tick above, come on.
Order submitted.
I want that to tick above there. Come on. Little pullback up here, so one leg down, a little bit of a pullback and a second leg down, get down to these lows. We can get something nice here, looking for a lower high. Double touch on that top, which I like. Okay, small pullback there. Let's see how that looks like. Something like that would get us down to those lows. Whether it'll happen or not, your guess is as good as mine.
Order cancelled.
It's closed below that line, which is a good sign. So this is starting to look bearish. We want a lower high off this, close below there.
Order submitted. Order cancelled.
That's better. Touch, 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 touch. This needs to be bearish, followed by a lower high. Trouble is, this just looks like it's really trying to push up. This looks the other way. Push up, 1, 2, 3, could be a triple test. This could push up actually. Second entry long. We've had a channel down there. We've made 1, 2, 3 attempts to go lower. If that finishes bullish, that could push up. And that would correspond with what I'm seeing here, because this is starting to look bullish. Trouble is, we're very high. If that is a channel, we're very high at the top. So it need to come back here, really. So what I'd like to do, if we have this triple test and it does push up, push in, retest the top of this. That's what I'd like to see. Wow, look at that. Nothing there, unfortunately. We want a lower high. Trouble is, we're that far down now. Leg. Excuse me a second. Excuse me, just for 2 minutes. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see what happens here. We've had 2 legs down. I like the way we're struggling. We're sitting there. So if we can get a higher low here, we may have an option there. That's interesting. So big, though. So as long as that big bullish bar holds and we don't come down anymore, I'd say we're likely going to push up. So let me just bring that down there. So 2 legs up, 2 legs down. So we want a lower high here, or a higher low rather. if this gets below this level here, I'd say we're going to have a decent push down. Let me have a look at it. I've got conflicting pictures at the moment. This looks like we're coming down. This looks like we're going up. Hopefully, we may bottom here. So if we can get a strong bar, maybe a higher low there, and we get a decent setup. Unfortunately, I can't take that. It's just way too far. And we've just come off this double top here. So there's nothing there, unfortunately. And it's more than a double top. Look at that. 1, 2. I mean, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, that is what you call... that's not random, that, is it? Trouble is, there is a possibility of a second entry short here. So I've got conflicting pictures here. This looks like it's going up, but we are finding support. This looks like it's coming down, but we are finding support. So I've got two quite different pictures there. Let's see what happens if this second entry short. I mean, why wouldn't you take that? Lowers, we're making lower highs, aren't we? My only slight concern with that is we've got some support down here. Yeah, I noticed Bitcoin earlier. Let's have a look. It's had another little run, isn't it? Yeah, it was 65 when I saw it earlier. 66,000. Unbelievable, really, isn't it? I mean, if you know what you're doing, there's so much money to be made. I mean, Bitcoin, I think at its lowest was around about $15,000. I mean, if you could afford to pick yourself up a couple, I mean, you'd find it hard push to lose money on Bitcoin. It's certainly if you bought it around 15,000, maybe temporarily, but you know, everyone knew it was going to go up. It's just got mass adoption now with the ETFs. I mean, God knows where it's going to go. I wouldn't be shocked if it got to 150,000 by the end of this year. Who the hell knows? But I've just added some more this morning. I bought some more H-bar and some more Gala. H-bar's up 5.5% today. Where's Gala? Gala's up 3.5% today. See, I bought Gala. I bought Gala at about 2 cents, so I've doubled my money there. I haven't got much of it, about £300 worth of it. If you double it, that's all right. I'm gutted about Solana. I think I had 40 Solana at one point. I think I bought it around about $18. It's $132 now. I mean, Solana's had the best year of anybody, really, isn't it? Well, certainly the top 20. No one's touched it. SHIB's up nearly 30% today. Doge is up over, nearly 22% today. The time to get into the altcoins is now. I mean, when Bitcoin hits some sort of a top, money will start to come out of Bitcoin and go into the altcoins. And I suspect things like Solana is going to do a lot more. XRP should do okay. I got some XRP. No, I haven't. I got some ADA. I got a little bit of Avalanche. I got some SHIB. I got some Matic. So I've got big. So and H-bar as well. I got a bit in H-bar. And some CRO as well. I still haven't it back where I was with that. So, what is going on here? I got no idea at the moment. It's just a bit congested. I'm not sure. Is this going to push down? It is struggling to get below there, XRP. Well, I mean, XRP got stitched up, really, didn't it, with that investigation with the SEC? I think a lot of people I've heard say that XRP would have been higher up than would have been up there near Bitcoin, in between Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it was just unfortunate, really, that was. Gary Gensler and his merry men. It's a shame, that is, but hopefully it'll recover nice. This is its first bull run after that investigation sort of sewing up a little bit. That's interesting. I like that bar there. Trouble is, there's so much support there. I just don't think it's safe to go long there. It's struggling here, but it could still go down. We had a go. Trouble is, while this is still looking like it may go a bit more south, I can't get involved in this because it could trigger me, bounce off this again, and down it comes. So there's no trade, unfortunately, for me. Okay, just keep your eyes open, folks. There is a few people reporting problems with Rhythmic. So just be careful. Make sure you got all your safety measures in mind. It's just frustrating, and we seem to be. I don't know whether it's because there's so many people using it that it's the problem or what. I don't know. Okay, look at that. So we've clearly pushed down lower there. So this for me now is looking bearish. So I'd say there's a good chance we could hit this level, which means now for me, I think this is more like a range than it is a channel. I mean, it probably was a channel, but I don't think that line's going to hold. So let's just put that there, just out of interest. But the trouble is, if it's really trying to go up, what I found, I was noticed this the other day, every time this went down, but really slowly. It just clearly didn't want to. And if this does push up a little bit, this one tends to fly. So it's hard to trade things at the moment. This needs to sort itself out. I like the fact so far that we've only gone so far down. So we've got a touch here, one touch there, one touch there, one touch there, near enough there. So whether we're going to come down for another leg or whether we're just breaking the lows before we push up, I don't really know yet. But while this is looking bearish and this is looking more on the bullish side, no trades. I was chatting to Daniel Q Shin last night for about 20 minutes. And he says, compared to lockdown, it's so hard to find a trade. I think he said he was averaging about 5 trades a week, which is 1 a day. Compared to, he said he was doing about 3 a day back, COVID time when there was a lot more volatility around. That's kind of when I started learning to trade, and I did say the other day there seemed to be a lot more trades around, whether it was because of my lack of experience, but no, it just seems like a lot of other people are feeling the same way. So you've got to be on your game now more than ever. I mean, you can still earn a decent living off 1 trade a day, that's for certain. But, I always keep my eyes open for other ideas. And if I see patterns, excuse me, never hurts to get some extra strings to your bow. So this channel has played out now. We've had 2 legs up and we have basically wormed our way down to make a new low. So this could go up now. So maybe this bullish channel, and we still haven't pushed down, is still valid. I think it's likely. For me, this thing is itching to go up. Whenever this comes down, we broke down below this line but then pushed up. So this to me looks like it's a lot stronger going north than south. So there is a possible higher low there. There's a possible short trap there. Let's see what happens here. Could still come down, but the fact that we've broke this and we've made 2 pushes down, clearly made a new low. I'd like to see this now push up, but look, it's still trying to go down. 4,000 worth of Bitcoin a couple of years ago. So you might have bought that at the back end of the bull market. So you may, let's have a look. The second, see, it had 2 pushes up originally, didn't it? And then it did it hit about 67, 68,000 on the second push before it slowly came down. So you may probably have something similar. So I'll be inclined to take that out and start putting it in some of the altcoins, because we should have alt season soon. I think when Bitcoin tends to hit some sort of a high and has a decent sized pullback, money tends to flow into the altcoins. It's just not safe to trade at the moment. There is a second entry long possibly there, but at the moment it's hard to trade that. It looks like it's trying a lot harder to go down than it is up. I watched a documentary about that guy that bought that Asian guy. I think was he like South Korean or something? Was he Chinese? Something like that. He's Asian of some form. He bought $5,000 worth of Bitcoin. I think around about very, very soon after it basically really had its launch. 5,000, and he just held up to a couple of years ago. And he was the one that bought that. It's coming down some more. He was the one that bought that that picture, that digital picture. What do they call them? What do they call them? The digital pictures, digital collectibles. I've gone blank. He paid $60 million for it. What are they called? And NFTs. Yeah, he bought that NFT. I think it's the biggest NFT. It's a picture of something. I can't remember what it was, but he paid $60 million for it. He put 5,000 in, and obviously he made a stack more than $60 million. I mean, $5,000 of Bitcoin. I'd hate to think how many few billion it's going to be worth, but it just goes to show if you can get in on these things and you've got a bit of faith and obviously a little bit of money to be able to forget about it. But I'm amazed he held so long. Trouble is, the longer you hold, there always a possibility that just something could go wrong. You never quite know. I had a little bit of money in, what was that one that collapsed? They brought it back a couple of times, but I don't think it's really taken off. I didn't lose much, but I did hear about this guy who put his life savings into it, $50,000, and lost it all. Was it Luna? I think it was Luna. Yeah, it was Luna. Put all his savings into it, $50,000, and lost a lot. So well, I mean, there's obviously going to be a lot more. It's going to be regulated at some point. I think they're obviously working on it. It's a pretty tricky process. I don't doubt. But there's too many people getting ripped off. Too many rug pulls. If you invest in lots of money, you need advice, really. A lot of these companies, if you put your money in, you've got to take advice. But obviously with crypto, you can put what you want in where you want, move it where you want. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do at the moment. Maybe there's a little spike in channel, possibly. That would make sense, leg back. But at the moment, keep thinking it's likely to push up, but then it keeps coming down. So leg and a leg. tempting, very tempting. But it's just too much risk. It could do anything really. I mean, who knows? I know what I think, but I can't trade on what I think. I've got to have a setup along with it. And unfortunately, there's just not one there really. So I'm just going to remove that for a minute. So we've got a leg down, 2 legs, a correction, and 1, 2, 3 pushes down to a new low. So I think it's likely this is going to push up, but I thought that there after the new low and we didn't. So I can't take a trade based on what I think is going to happen here. Oh, incidentally, is it the 4th today? Oh yeah, I've got that wrong. It's the 5th. It's the 4th, isn't it? This finishes this evening. Just change that. My mistake. It's the 4th. So the 80% off 1 day to pass finishes. I think it's midnight tonight. Is it midnight? No, I think it's 4:59 Eastern time. So if you can get a evaluation pass today, any evaluation pass today, then it will go live tomorrow. But failing that, it'll move back. Well, I'm guessing probably onto a 71% discount, I think. Now that's interesting. We got a good strong buy off there. So let's keep an eye on this. I mean, that's a strong move, that is. So we've made this low. We've tried to retest it. We've pushed in, and we've broke below there and pushed up strongly. So I think there's a good chance now we may get some move in this direction. Wow, this is ironic. This is starting to look bullish now in the NQ. This is starting to look bearish. I'm just wondering whether we're going to trap some shorts here, maybe. Or are we coming down? First unfunded P8, the nerves feel so different. Yeah, they certainly do. My suggestion, if you're interested, is just keep your risk low. The lower that risk, the lower those nerves. You risk $10, you're not even going to bat an eyelid. You risk $100, it elevates it somewhat. So that's my 2 cents. Just check I'm doing the right one here. Yeah. Oh, this is starting to look like it's about to collapse. This is trying to go higher now. You can't win. Yeah, it's definitely more nerve-wracking on the PA. It's almost like a journey you have to go through. You get the nerves on the evaluations, and then they'll slowly start to subside. And then when you go PA, you climb up to a whole new level, and eventually, over time, that'll start to subside. It's tough. It is tough. It's emotionally tough. It wears you out at times. But all I can say is if you do stick at it and you keep trying and keep persevering and keep doing whatever you can and keep just trying to improve things, my opinion is you'll do all right. Okay, so that, let me have a look. Call it a lower high, but at the moment it's just hard to say really. I suggest now that there is a chance we're more likely just going sideways. See, I thought that was over when we had that push up. I thought, there we go, up we go. How could I go risk less to get funded? I trade one ES contract the whole time. I could go micros, but the order flow is different. Yeah, it is. It is. What is it, 50,000 account? Yeah, so just maximum one ES then I would personally. And then just get a feel for it. Just get a feel for it, take your time. But the best thing I can suggest to you, depending on how long you've been trading, is when it's like this, congested, stay out of it. Anything like this, just stay out of it. Wait for a real obvious setup, take it, commit, and then just go with it. If you feel the need to have a go at something, do it on a sim. That's just going by some of the mistakes I've made. But when it's choppy like this, just stay out of it. You will get better at reading it and understanding it, but I couldn't tell you at the moment. 1 minute this was bullish, this was bearish. Now this looked like it's pushing up, this looks like it's coming down. So we've got multiple pictures here, so it's just dangerous. But you know, I know when you first get your your PA, you're itching to take a trade. I know I was. But just take your time and try and relax. It's just another step in the right direction. As long as you stick at it and keep learning, you know, as your skills will start to grow. You tend to think more about the psychological side. Everything is focused around that. When things go wrong, you beat yourself up. But what you're forgetting is you're learning as well. You know, your skill is constantly improving. The more hours you got on these charts, the more days, your skill's improving. So sometimes you think you're not getting anywhere. First out is, yeah, you're not wrong, mate. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's hard to know where we are going at the moment. I mean, I'd like to think the way we've had this little breakout here and push back in, I think it's more likely to stay within this range. But that is just an educated guess. But sometimes they say don't fight the market, and at the moment we do seem to be worming down. I haven't had any real confirmation that we're doing anything, but yeah, I don't know. But it's a little bit unclear. So, well, your guess is as good as mine. It's just bouncing all over the place, isn't it? So, let's remove that and take this up a wedge. And let's put that. There's 4 touches there. That's probably 4 touches. I'll get any more touches here, can I? That's a bit better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches there. Okay, let's go with that. I thought when we had those 2 bars, this was coming down to the bottom, but it stopped right on that midline. Hot garbage. That's the new word. That's our new buzzword there, Robin. And what's it's doing well as well, isn't he? Which I'm really pleased about. Nutty Bar Trading. He's got some accounts up now above payment level. So I know he's had a journey himself, lost lots of PAs, but he's having some success. So good on him. I love hearing about people doing well. I love hearing about, somebody put a post maybe 6-7 months ago that they've withdrawn this much this month, and they got slaughtered. They really picked him apart. I love hearing about money. I do. How much you've earned. So as long as it's legitimate, I love hearing about it because it gives you hope. But just some people don't want to know. Maybe a bit of an overshoot there. Nice to see Nutty. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's a nice guy. He is. Nice guy for a ginger. He's a nice bloke, actually. I like him. So we have a little channel here with possibly an overshoot. Trouble is, this thing looks like it's just trying so hard to go down. Well, I wouldn't be shocked if Bitcoin hit all-time highs by the end of the day. It's on 66.3 at the moment. What is all-time highs? Is it around about 68? It's not far off, is it? It's hard to tell because they're so flipping close if you look at them. I think it's around 68 thereabouts. It's up 6.5% today. Unbelievable. Doge is up 21% today. SHIB's up 35% today. H-bar 6%, so that's one of mine. 0. We seem to have a nice little channel there with a quick drop and a quick push back in. So it may be an overshoot. Does that mean we're going to push up? I don't know. It's trying to go lower here, isn't it? And it may just rock it up, but who the hell knows? Nothing we can do, unfortunately. Yeah, just keep an eye on Rhythmic, folks, today. There is a few people saying they're having problems with it. Not many, but a few. Scary stuff. NYCB. In the big troubles. NYCB. Not sure what that is. New York something, isn't it? NYCB. You might have to fill me in there. New York something. I guess. Citibank. Okay. All right. Okay, this is interesting. I am starting to look at the 1,000-tick chart as well. Let's try up here with a break. there is a higher low there. Just out of curiosity. There's quite a way to go on that, but we've had this breakout there, a couple of pushes up, a pullback, and a higher low. Sometimes this gives us a little, well, look at that, this gives us a little bit more detail that the 1500 tick, there's no higher low here, unfortunately. Well, I mean, you might call that, but it's a doji, that wouldn't get me in. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think this one's going to work by the looks of things. I am just trying to monitor this just to see how effective it is, but we haven't got it there. It's a second entry long and a higher low, that, so I kind of like that trade. We've had a break. I'd expect to make a new high, or at least get to these tops somewhere around about there. There's 2 points there, whether it'll work or not. I would suggest quite possibly. Trouble is, this is just so sideways, isn't it? Okay, so that clearly would have made 2 points. I did start looking at it a while ago, because sometimes it gives you that little bit more detail, enough to get into a trade, and that one would. Unfortunately, the higher low there, I like the fact that there's a short there, which triggered, but we didn't really get a higher low. Well, we did, but it was a doji, so there's nothing you can really do with that one. But on the 1000 tick chart, it was a really nice looking bar, and it clearly shot up for 2 points. So, if you do consider that a channel, and we had a break of it, we had a push up, we made a new high. So, from the overshoot, that worked. Trouble is, this is telling me nothing at the moment on the NQ, it's just sideways. It doesn't seem to want to push up. Yeah, I've made that new low from this channel. I don't think there's anything larger there. Yeah, I mean, regardless of whether you think, well, that one or that one, we've had a break out of it. We've clearly made a new low, so trouble is, it's not pushing up. Perhaps we haven't had a decent enough signal bar to go long, so that might be why. Maybe there's not many buyers in there. Just doesn't seem to want to slow down, this thing. Down again. Are we just retesting it? And are we going to bounce? Well, it's tough going so far. Okay, so we've come off these bottoms. That's a failed breakout, so I think there's a fair chance we could get to these tops. We've tried to retest that bottom, but we've struggled a bit, so Kanan, how you doing, mate? You're doing strong. Channel up. Friday never made a new high and retested. And about an overall channel, are you? From oh, I see what you mean from there. Yeah, I mean it does look like we're pushing up. The only slight issue I have, we're going along just at the moment. It does look like a push up with a couple of legs of correction, but this is just holding, isn't it? It's a bit choppy. We had this channel down, couple of legs up, and then we eventually, after a couple of tries, made a new low, a little bit more sideways, and we retried again. So we need to get above here really and retest the top before I think about pushing up and then going long on here. It's hard to say at the moment. Is there going to be something? There may be something bigger. It's always possible. But at the moment, not a lot I can do. Okay, we're at the top of this channel now. I thought we may do after that breakout. So now where we're going, I'm assuming we're going to have probably equal amount out the top. If we can push up and retest this, then maybe after these bunch of attempts to go low, maybe we might get some movement up. I watched a couple of videos from, is it Chad Trader? Was it Chad Trader? I like what he had to say. Look at my history. What, the youngish guy?
I just wanna let it go for the night.
Sorry if you can.
I just wanna let it go for the night. I just wanna let it.
Sorry, Chad Trades. Yeah, Chad Trades. His name is. I liked what he had to say actually. He seems to do quite well. Quite a clever sounding guy. Chad Trades, his name is. If you're interested, something to look at. Okay, so I like the fact that we've pushed above all this now, so that's a good sign. So I'd like to come back and retest this. Maybe a couple of legs and then hopefully some more of the up stuff. There is some a little bit of congestion around there somewhere, so just close enough there, a few touches there. So I want to get a couple of legs back. If this is a channel, we're clearly at the top, so nothing we can do up there. Yeah. Okay, so we got this little bit of resistance up here, so I'd like to get back here and retest this. So this to me now, I'm pretty sure this is just a range. I think this is wanting to take off. We've got to come back here. We don't want that. Come back here. I want it to come back here first before we get up to these highs. This needs a couple of legs back really to get some more interest. It's just nothing really at the moment, is there? This wants to take off. Come back down. Let's have a big bearish drop. Definitely not the easiest day to trade today. Anybody took any trades yet by any chance? Up $53. Good on you, mate. Good on you. You gonna buy yourself a Porsche? Took a couple of small. Oh, have you? Yeah, it's a bit hard trading today. There's definitely a bit of a chopping up, shorted 4-tick bar at 14.53. Yeah, if it was a 4-tick bar, well, you can go a lot lose really, have you? 6 ticks, that'll do. 1 to 1.5 in it, is that right? No, not quite. 1 to 1 1/3. Something like that. Triple test. You know about you shorted up here, don't tell me. Was it that bar there or something there? That bar there. It looked about the shortest one, didn't it? Or was it over his? I don't know. Yeah. 14.53. That bar there, then I'm guessing. Yeah. I bet you shit your pants when that came back up. What was you at? No, you would have been out, would you? Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that one there, yeah. Sometimes if it's a small risk, I mean, it's clearly struggling to get above there. Sometimes if it was a small risk, sometimes it's worth it. See, it depends what kind of trader you are. Some people will go for more trades, but maybe only slightly riskier ones. But if you're taking trades at 70%, you're still going to win more than you're going to lose. So it's still, you know, the math makes sense. So I get why people do it. But if you're like me and a bit of a coward, and you'd rather just not have any losses at all, I just wait for that one good trade. I hope I've made the right decision. Waiting for 47.25 for a short up here somewhere. New highs, aren't we, up here? Yeah. I'd like to get a pullback to the EMA on this NQ, really. Our supply, yeah, we're clearly getting some resistance along there. You can clearly see that. I drew that little box, and it's clearly stacking up in there. So I'd like to see a little drop back here, which would take us hopefully down to the bottom of this channel, or maybe here. We're looking for a long then, just to take it back up maybe to these highs. Trouble is, you don't know when you're going to get it. Yeah, there's clearly some resistance up there, isn't there? What'd you say, 725? So around about there somewhere. Yeah, I think there's a good chance of getting up to these highs. I'd probably say so. Leg up, 2 legs of correction. It's just finding the way up there. So I would suggest, I think there's a good chance of getting up there, which would take us, well, close to those highs anyway. But once we get above some of these, maybe even that bar there, we'll get a bit of a push anyway, I think. And that'll probably take us up here. We need a setup here, really. We tried 3 times to get up here, so I need it to come down, really. Wow, so we came down there, touched the open and pushed up. Trouble is, there's no way I can go long there, as tempting as it is, as long as, you know, as much as this looks like it's going to push up. But we've made a new high here, so we could pull back, so there's no way I can get involved there. Uh, mm, Nothing I can do at the moment, unfortunately, which is a bit of a pain. This is hard going today. I like this area to take along anyway. This looks to me, we've had a break out of there. I'd like a pullback. Can you show link for chat trader? Chad Trader, his name is. Let me find him. Or Chad Trades, sorry, his name is. He sounds really good. He didn't stream or anything, but he makes videos. Let me have a look. Chad Trades, I think his name is.
I just wanna let it go for the night.
Block the sound, okay. That's the guy there. I'll bring him in. There you go, Chad Trades. I like some of his videos actually. Interesting to listen to. He started using these Haikadashi or Haikanashi candles. Quite interesting actually, but yeah. Yeah, anytime, yeah. Chad Trades, his name is. So what is going on here? Bright new high. Are we just in a bigger range here? No worry, we are. Yeah, so we got a leg up. So the trouble is, would you want to go long after we've hit that 3 times? Uh, see if we can get a higher low up here. Okay, excuse me just for a quick minute. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay. Now we're going to try and make a new high. It concerns me going along into this because it could trap you and then come down for another leg. The fact that we got that channel and we break doesn't necessarily mean, does it, that we are going to make a new high. If we've hit the top of a range and traders are deeming it a range, it may just turn down. So hard to read this today. You take a look at bookmap, you'll see every time the price tries to reach a new high, a huge order comes in and stops a movement. Yeah, I have used bookmap in the past. The trouble is I've got no bloody spare screens. Struggle as it is, I've had to have Discord on my MacBook. Mind you, I could put it on there, couldn't I? Of course I could. Yeah, I probably didn't get to understand it as well as I probably should have done, but my next project is to look into order flow, just as a sideline, just for a bit of fun, just for out of curiosity, see what it's all about. Yeah, after that big push up and that big bearish bar, I suppose after this push down, there's probably likely going to be traders who've traded that bar with some stops maybe at this level. So I don't know whether they add into it up there, I suppose. Fed head in 1 minute. I've got nothing on my chart, but we'll see. Okay, you could consider that high or low. My issue is going along into that. I'm not saying it's not going to work. It might push up and push straight through that, but I'm just not really interested in that. We got a leg down. It could be 2 attempts up and then another leg down. I'm just staying out of this at the moment. Mind you, it's quite a small risk, but I don't know how I feel about it. Let's have a look. Let's get an order ready.
Order
Anyway.
submitted.
It's a small risk, but
Order cancelled.
no. That's interesting. There's a bearish bar there which is triggered. Trouble is, you can clearly see up there, it's struggling to get out. It got out there, but then pulled back in sharpish. Yeah, there is a higher low there, but unfortunately nothing for us here. It's just really struggling to get up. I wouldn't be shocked if it came tumbling down. Yeah, we're getting back in. We've had a little break on the NQ above this area, and then it's pulled back in. So I think it's just lightly. We're just at the top of these ranges again. It makes sense. We do seem to be working in this area. Just might be a fail breakout. See, we've had this channel had a break new high, so that's played out. Second entry long. It's just hard to say what's going on here. This looks like it's quite likely going to come down. If it gets below here, I can see it coming down at least to the midline. You can see there's a lot of support around here, a lot of resistance around there. Support around there. We're getting close to that. We're there now. So are we coming down? Quite possibly. Odd trading today. Not a lot of setups up. There's nothing I think that I would have taken. High low on the 1,000 tick chart, but nothing here. Trouble is, if there's less and less trades here, you might be better off having a slightly smaller chart. We got this leg up here in a correction. That's the one I looked at there. We've had a good strong push up. Broke, made a new high. We've come down, bounced and bounced again. You could say that's confirming that line, high or low. And obviously, well, the results says everything, and then it clearly works up in there. So, you know, touched there, pushed up, came back, touched it once, came back, touched it twice. That's the one I'd have taken. Unfortunately, it was only available there. This was it here. There was nothing, and it obviously made sense to go along there after the overshoots, but the only one you could consider a high-low there was a doji, so you just can't take that. But so I'm just starting to monitor the 1,000-tick chart, and at the end of the day, I need one trade a day, and if I can't get it on this, maybe I can trade it on a slightly different time frame. I mean, price action should all work exactly the same, whatever time frame you're on, but I don't like trading on the NQ really, purely and simply because I don't understand the point system, and that used to how the points work and ticks work on the ES, and I like the way it's easy to drop a stop or whatever, just one tick below the signal bar, but it doesn't work that way on the NQ. You've got to stretch it out a bit to get it exactly one tick, so I find it a little bit quite different to trade. Now, you'll probably get used to it, but I do like trading the ES, but I've got no issues trading it on the 1,000-tick chart as a sort of second backup if I need to. If it gets me trade. Okay, so we've had a break out of this channel. We made one attempt to go higher, a second attempt to go higher. So I would suggest this is more likely to go down based on this at the moment. On the NQ, it does look like we may have a little downtrend there. So that's possible. So with what I'm seeing there, I mean, we have bounced there, so that's one thing. At the same time, I'm guessing, I think that's VWAP, isn't it? 51.39, which is around about here. So whether that's bounced there or not, I don't know. But we are struggling to get high. We've had a triple top there. We made one attempt, second attempt. So based on what I'm seeing here, I think it's more likely to come down. It's clearly sideways anyway. We've had a break of this channel and a push up. We've had a break of this one, and we're struggling to get up. There's a second entry short there. And all of a sudden, on the NQ, it's triggered one tick above this bull bar and dropping. My slight issue is there's one hell of a lot of resistance and support there. So I don't really want to be going short here, not just yet. It needs to get below there, really, because you can see it along there. So is that going to work? Possibly, but I certainly wouldn't go short on here, so I'm not interested at the moment. But I mean, it was tempting to take that. I just don't like this on the NQ. If it does break below this level here, I can see it having a good strong push down. It may do. It's hard going today. Yeah, it looked like there were some buy orders below there. It spiked down quickly and pushed back up. And we're doing the same on the NQ, so so they got 2 points out of that. You can say that's a second entry, low, high, whatever, but I just don't like it at the moment. It's just a bit choppy and a little bit unclear. That's interesting. I think there is a bigger channel there. Oh yes, I love that. That fits like a dream. Let's hope it holds. Touch, touch, confirmed it. Few touches there, bunch of touches here. So we've had this start and then we've had 2 legs down. So this is a nice looking channel. So if we get a higher low here, that might interest me. We've come down once, bounced below there. We've come down a second time and pushed off strong. So maybe this is just a couple of legs before we continue on. Let me have a look. That looks like maybe just 2 legs down. So we got 1 leg and 2 legs. Nice measured move there. So far so good. So that just might be 2 legs and then we push up. This is all speculation at the moment. So yeah, maybe something like that. We'll see. So I want to see this push up. So far we've had 2 bars which have held on that line, which is a good sign. We got a leg back and a leg back. Yeah, right to the nearest tick. Yeah, 2 perfect legs back. I like that. So that's a good sign. This to me is looking slowly bullish. But obviously it needs to hold and give us a higher low. Leg, a retest, and then up. Come on. Give me what I want. Don't come down. So far we're still holding here. Barely, by the skin of our teeth, I think. If we can get a little drop below there and a push up, and then maybe a higher low. Trouble is, sometimes when it's slowly grinding, it can get you in a bit of trouble. It can come flushing down. That's what concerns me. It is holding there, so that's encouraging. 4 times now if it stays where it is. You could call that a high or low. No, I don't like it. We're getting close to these tops here. That could trigger you there and turn there. It is definitely more on the side of air and on the side of bullish, but at the moment, it's just a sitting and waiting game. So we got 2 legs down and a second entry short there. Let's see if that triggers, and then we push up. We may get a higher low here. Trouble is, all this is below the EMA, so it's a no-no at the moment. Just based on what I'm seeing, I'm not confident enough to go long, because 2 legs down, 2 legs up, it could absolutely tank down here. There is that area where it's reacting to. So you could say 1, 2, 3 triple test. If that finished really bullish, I don't know whether it will. Whoa, look at that. Quick flush down and then a turn. Just goes to show you, try getting in here because you think it's holding you, and all of a sudden, woof, down it comes. Game over. I wouldn't have gone long there anyway, even, I mean, the bar's naff. Even I know it's holding there and it's starting to look nice, but it's just too risky, that is. It's going to mess with your head today, and it's going to stitch you up really easy. You've got to wait for a real decent, obvious setup. Do you know if there is any consistency rule with Apex eval? Not an eval, no. Do whatever you want on an evaluation, mate. You can pass it all in one trade if you want. You can go the full 10 contracts and take 6 points if you want. Do whatever you want, mate. No rule at all. You're welcome. In fact, that guy I was speaking to yesterday, I mentioned this a few months ago. What some traders are doing is, especially when the evaluations are cheap, they're getting 2 evaluations, waiting for a major news event, and they're setting 10 contracts for 6.25 points. That quarter point gives you enough to cover the fees, and it'll keep you enough above $3,000 to be able to take 1 micro for the remaining 6 days. And what they're doing, they're setting their ATM strategy for 10 points at 10 contracts at 6.25 risk. They're duplicating their screen and they're going just before the news, 10 seconds before the news, they're going long on the one chart, and exactly the same place they're going along on the short one. We get a big spike in the news, it'll either pass that one or pass that one. And I think a few are trading that way now. I don't think Apex are bothered about it. You can take all sorts of risks. They can't say, well, you can, make a gamble, but you can't go long and short. They've said you can't go long and short on a PA, and that's fair enough. But on an evaluation, they're not really bothered. I tried it in one day. I got 7,017 trades. Very good. But I am so yeah, it does wear you out. In and out, in and out, in and out. I think probably you might be better off doing that just to do 2 evaluations, you've got a 50% chance of winning. So that's pretty reasonable, isn't it? I mean, we all know we all blow tons of evaluations anyway. But if you could sort of more or less guarantee yourself a 50-50 win rate, it's not bad. I'm pretty sure most of us have got a lot less than that if you work out the amount of evaluations we've taken. But yeah, you just go long on one, short on the other, and obviously the news tends to spike in a particular direction and goes through your 6 1/4 points. 8 presto, you pass one of them and fail the other. Unless it shoots up and through your profit that fast it comes back down and it's your stop, you may lose both. I've not tried it myself, but I've spoken to a few people that do it. It doesn't work for the most, but it's not something I've done myself. What is going on here? Okay, we're below here now. We're bounced off that midline. It's just so hard to trade here. You don't know when it's going to go up or down. We've had 2 legs down, retested it once, retested it. Sorry, first time, second time, third time. I haven't got a clue what's going on here, to be honest with you. Is it going up? Is it go down? It could do either. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, like to think this is going to go up, and it may do. But as somebody mentioned, I'm just looking on Bookmap now. There is bigger orders further up. There's a lot above, around about the 68 mark. 68. 58, sorry, up here somewhere. Somewhere around 41, which is here. Some sell orders, strong sell orders. About sell. I'd say by the looks of things, it's probably going to come down, but I wouldn't bet on it. Okay, folks, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. It's just I'm getting dry in the mouth, and I'd rather let it just sort itself out. In fact, now let's just wait for a few more minutes because we have got a channel. If we can get a higher low, and this looks like it might be pushing up, then I'll see. No, in fact, I'm just going to take a break. Just a quick 3 to 5 minutes, quick cup of tea, and I'll be back. Okay. It's just so hard to trade this. You go short here, could completely chop you up. Got this leg down. You know, I do feel that this is starting to look bearish. Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. It is confusing. This does look like it's coming down, doesn't it? We've tried to get up a bunch of times, and we are slowly grinding down. We're below this now, so the next port of call I would suggest is down here. Now, there is a possibility, depending on how you look at things, that we got a leg down, and I don't know, maybe another one. It's hard to say. Let's have a quick look at the daily. And we've had that little break. We've had 2 pushes up, so it doesn't really tell us much. Could go up, could go down, but so hard to decide, isn't it? There is a possible higher low there. Trouble is, well, this is all under the email. What the hell want to go long there? We've got a channel up here, and we have had a break, and you would generally think we might push up, make a new high, but this just we've pushed below here, and we've hit 1, 2, 3 times below that line there. So this to me looks more bearish. So I just wouldn't want to take a long there. I'm not saying it's not going to work, but it could just trigger and come down because we've come off these tops. We've hit that 3 times, right at the same place. We tried once to go higher, second time, and we are daisy chaining down. So sometimes you've got to get out of this picture that we're going up. We've got to go up and break these highs. When if this is just a range, this is just sometimes it just daisy chains all the way down, and at the moment this is just looking like it's ready to drop. So I would suggest that probably wouldn't be a bad setup to take.
Order submitted.
Trouble is, it's that far from the EMA, it could come back to get you. So I'm just not taking that.
Order
it's very
cancelled.
Tempting. Let's have a look. It's very tempting, but I just don't like it. We're close to these lows now, see, so it could. Oh, I don't know. It's so hard to make a decision, really. I mean, it is whipping around, isn't it? So it's very whippy, isn't it? That's more of a better word. Trouble is, we've had that push down, and I'd say with the with the breakout at the top there, we're quite likely going to have this down the bottom. But there is a chance it could continue on down. I'm starting to think more and more it's, and if you look just basically after that massive push up, I mean, look at that over a couple. Well, look, that's a fair old size move that is in a day. So leg and a leg, maybe sort of pushed up, made a new high, 2 legs back, a little bit of sideways, another leg down. I won't be surprised. So leg down, 1 attempt to go high, 2nd attempt to go high. Yeah, it is starting to feel more bearish to me now. The 2nd leg come up. So short, so could continue down. Yeah, I'm starting to get this. Well, right at the bottoms now. Trouble is, if it decides to pull back into this range, this is going to come up and take you out there. So it's only really a first entry there, first entry, 2nd entry, 3rd entry, 4th entry. So there's nothing there, unfortunately. I mean, it's tempting seeing this working its way down, but when I get that urge to jump in here, I tend to just push it away. Yeah, it does look like it, doesn't it? We are sideways here. It could, I mean, just do a dramatic drop, but equally it could stitch you and come back up here and take you out first. So, I mean, look, we've bounced off the bottom. I mean, it could continue on down, or it could work its way back in, and if it does, a short there is just going to knack you. So, it does look like it's likely to dump, but whether it does it here, or, I mean, that we've... That little bullish bar there is triggered and it's coming down below there. So I think that's fair. What can you do? As tempting it is, I've learned over time that try and let those emotions and that urge to jump in and not miss things confuse me with still waiting for a setup. As much as I think it's going to absolutely dump, I've still got to do it with a setup. Otherwise, that's how you get stitched out. And if I take a trade based on a feeling that it's going to go down without a true setup, that's when I tend to crucify myself and go on tilt. So as much as I think it may drop 20, 30 points, it's irrelevant really. I've still got to wait for a solid setup, and if you do that, you'll just get better and better at it. But the urge to jump in is but I mean, look at that now, see. It could rocket right back in and right to the top. So a trade there, you just, so as much as it's tempting and it is almost like it's sucking in shorts, it could all of a sudden turn around like it looks like it's doing there and go woof straight through the top of that. And look how bullish that is now all of a sudden. Whether it'll break that eye or not, who knows, but it just goes to show, doesn't it? 1 minute you're thinking, yeah, here we go, we're going to drop, and it triggers you, come down. You wouldn't have got much out of that. ATRs are really low at the moment, so if you'd have took that, you'd have squeezed a point out of that. If you take a trade like that based on that gut feeling that it's going to dump, you wouldn't probably be happy with a point, so you'd probably still be in there. So by the time that gets to that EMA, if that's where it's going, I feel that stock might be gone. But I bet there were some traders jumped in there, got a bit excited. It crossed my mind just for a second, and I tend to push it away now and not let it get to me. It might hold. Most of the time it has. If you look, we haven't broken a high yet. So, but guaranteed the second, I don't know how this world works, but guarantee the second you get in and take a risky trade, it punishes you for it. So I've just learned. So there is a channel down there, nice looking channel with a break. So are we going to have a second entry short and come down again, or are we now going to push off? I can't take a short here just out of principle because we've bounced off the bottom. So to me, it's clearly a range day at the moment with the exception of those two legs down initially. So when it gets to the bottom, my focus goes from shorts to long. As much as that might be two lovely legs and it may come down, but I just can't get involved, unfortunately. It's just one of them things, isn't it? So, if you did take that one, thinking it was coming down, you've been given a small reprieve. Whether it lasts or not, I wouldn't like to guess. I wouldn't be shocked if it rocketed up or rocketed down. Yeah, it does look like it's going to dump, doesn't it? But yeah. Sometimes I've just learned over time that this price can mess with your head. It can give you little teasers, and then just when you decide to get in and have a go, it stitches you up, and then takes you out. Look. Move. It's hard going today. This is really whippy, up and down, and hard to read. This is a little clearer. but it's still not giving away much apart from we're in a range. Trouble is, because this initial 2 pushes down, I am thinking that it may push down again, so I'll be unsure about taking a trade like that. I'd much rather, if I was going to take a trade like that, have that body sat like that. I've dropped out the bottom, close on its high, and have that body sat right there. There is a higher low there, but it's going into that support again. So I wouldn't go long there. So I'm not looking to go long here at the moment either. I'm not saying it's not going to work, but it's a lovely looking bar. I like the way it's looking and it's holding here. The trouble is, look at that. So just, I wouldn't go long based on that. It may rock it up, but so I'm not looking to go long on the ES at the moment. There is a second entry short, but same again. I'm not interested at the moment. I don't know what's going on. A lower high may consider. We got this channel down here. The trouble is, it's come off this bottom, so you just don't know whether it's going to trap a short there and then push up. So if I'm never that sure, I tend to wait for the lower high. So maybe this channel is just done and dusted. So we got a channel down here with a break. Now, if there is a lower high there, that looks like it's coming down to retest this level. Then this is a channel with a break, and I expect a new low down at this level. There is orders down at 5135, which is down here. So let's see how this. Let's see if this gives us a lower high. What I don't want it to do is to turn back up there. No setup here, unfortunately. Unless we can get a lower high here. Okay, possible failed second entry short. Let's see how this forms and whether it triggers. If it triggers, we may get a lower high here to retest these, or possibly down even further. Let's see if this triggers a long. Hopefully it will, and then come down. It has triggered. Okay, so this, if this does come down, will give us a lower high. It's looking that way. We're bouncing off this, the open there, a bunch of times. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6, 7, 8. Reviewing the 2000 tick chart. I'm assuming you're about tick chart NQ. A few beautiful setups. Hard but not considered switching here. There's definitely one I saw on the 1000 tick chart, but it's certainly, you know, if we're struggling to find trades on the 2000 tick chart, there's no reason why you can't go up to the 2500 or come down to the 1500 or come down to the 1000. You know, like Max says, it trades the same, you know, on every chart. Price action is price action. You know, it shouldn't lie. Very tempting that. You could say that's a hidden second entry short. But I just don't like this. We look like we tried to push down, but we haven't broken below that stop. Second entry short, about trigger on the NQ. Are you looking on the 2000 tick chart? Yeah, see, I'm on the 1500 here. 1500 seems about right. Let's have a little gander of this. Yeah, it looks quite a bit different. That's obviously a bit more staggered. See, my issue there. Let's have a look. That may be a bit of an overshoot there. We come off the bottom, see, so I just, you got to be so careful. I mean, that bearish bar hasn't triggered yet, so it's hard to say, but 2000 tick, yeah, is there any setups there? It's hard to say, really. It's hard to say. I am trying to get an extra monitor to try and have another time frame up constantly. There's not much difference between that and the 2000, to be fair. I'm having trouble at the minute. We got the you techie guys there. I got a NVIDIA GeForce 2060, which has got 3 HDMI and 1 what's the other port? I can't remember. It's got 4 outputs for monitors, and I've got 4 monitors in there. I'd like to get a second monitor. The trouble is, when you're streaming, you've got one dedicated to OBS, one dedicated to YouTube. So I've got, well, 1.5. I've got sort of 2.5 screens, and I've got a bunch of charts. So I'm looking at options to get extra monitors. Now I believe I can put an extra graphics card in. I have got my older GT710 in, But when I plug a display into that, I'm just getting no life, so I'm not sure what the score is there. It's so hard to know. I mean, it could push up to the tops. You know, we've had some stems down there, which is triggered. There may be a higher low there, and that may push up. That's all I've got. May. Can't base me trades on May. It is looking like a higher low, but it's struggling. We've been struggling for a while. So you may call that a lower high, but it's triggered. I wouldn't hold much hope for that. This to me looks like it's trying to push up. Okay, that's interesting. This to me now is starting to look like if we can get above this and above this, it'll take out any possible stops. There's probably going to be stops here, but unfortunately, we've got no setup here. That's a shame. Some big sell orders at around about 42.75. Be interesting to see what it does there. 42, another couple of ticks, one more tick above there. Big chunk of orders. $700 orders. This is interesting. think this is going to speed up in a minute. This looks like it's going along. Go on, push up, and the air should follow now. Ready, steady, go. We're just creeping up on those big orders there. 680 orders. See, there's this. I don't think that was a bad trade, to be honest. Once we broke above this, we closed above it. We got a push up. It was actually a second entry long once it broke above there. And it worked okay there, but unfortunately, there's just no setup here. It's just a bit choppy and a bit unclear. So, unfortunately, we get nothing. Okay, so we got a channel up. You may say that's like that. You may say it's like that. This is hard going, this is. Yeah, it's a bit boring, mate. You're not wrong. It's very whippy, isn't it? Up, down, up, down, up, down. It's just, I mean, if you look at it like that, it just looks like a mess, doesn't it? I mean, we can clearly see what's going on, but setup-wise, it's just... I mean, it looks like a heart attack, doesn't it? It's bouncing all over the place. I couldn't say when it was going to go up. See, we had this channel down. We come off 3 times off the top. I thought we were going to have a leg and come down, which is still possible. 2 pushes up and then down, but oh, God only knows. I did kind of like that. I liked how it fitted tops and bottoms, and that may be the case that we may push up. So, you know, later on in the day, it may become a bit clearer. At the moment, it's just, you know, what to do. It was at this point in time I used to be a bit vulnerable going back 12 months. I don't know how many times I sat there for 2.5 hours, the patience of a saint, and took a stupid trade trying to squeeze one. I've just given up now. I'm just quite happy to sit here, you know. Give me 3.5 hours. If I don't get a trade, it doesn't bother me anymore. I can only see what I can only take what I can see. If I can't see anything, I don't even bother trying to squeeze it anymore. It just doesn't work. Just got to sit here. If we get a setup, happy days. If we don't, it is what it is. It's my job just to sit here and look for a setup. If we don't get any, it's just one of them things, isn't it? Yeah, I am. It is going to be my project over the next few weeks, just to have a look at order flow. That some of the people I've seen use order flow that say they use the bars to get into a trade, but use order flow, how long to stay in or when to get out. Because, I mean, we tend to go for 2 points. Sometimes if we get a lovely leg up there, 2 lovely legs of corrections in a higher low, sometimes I think, okay, we've got scope to get right up here. But I just don't have the confidence to do it. And a few traders have said that's where Bookmap comes into its own, because you can see whether it's strong and likely to go up or not. So sometimes I think it can help you stay in trades longer, or maybe hold on to runners. So it's just, I'm just trying to slowly learn and develop. You know, it's always nice to look at other things that may help you. Yeah, absolutely. Because you just never know, you know. I mean, there's so many different ways to trade, isn't there? Not that I want to, you know, change how I trade, but it would be nice to maybe take advantage of some information that may help me stay in a trade. You know, I may decide to have a week where I reduce down just to one contract, and maybe on the odd occasion, if I see a good enough trade, try and hold it a bit. You know, because at the moment, lately, you're hard pushed to get a setup in a day. Sometimes when I look back, I think, oh yeah, I you know, there'd have been one there, but at the time, in real time, you haven't got that luxury. You've literally got a few seconds to make your mind up, and you know, there was no trades on Friday. Although, excuse me if you can hear some howling, that's my dog. I think my wife's come home. That's off-putting. Oh, there he goes again. And the other one's going now. One starts howling and the other one does. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can be hard pushed. I did open up a position, but it went off without me on Friday. But you know, I'm averaging sort of 4 trades a week, maybe sometimes 3. So it'd be nice that if we get a nice offering to be able to get in for maybe, I don't know, a little bit more points, 4 points, 5 points. If you can double up on a trade, I'm not saying it's always the best option to take. Excuse me a sec. Yeah, it'd be nice to have the option to, if you see a good enough setup, if we're bouncing right off the tops and you think there's a chance you can get higher, order flow might be a good option to maybe see some information to give you a little bit more confidence that this is more likely going to grow, but we'll see. So hard today, really. See, I don't know whether I would consider that a channel. It could be a leg and a leg, in which case we could have a leg and a leg down. But what I will suggest is there may be a higher low on the 1,000 tick chart, which there isn't on the 2,000 tick chart. So if this is a channel and we get 2 legs back, if we can get a higher low here, we may get up to these tops. If that's the higher low I would have taken there on that 1,000 tick chart, and judging by how quick it moved up, a few other traders may have taken that, but yeah, the channel with a break or a couple of legs, however you think, maybe a leg down and a leg down. But I think it's always good to extend your knowledge. There is on the 1,500. Sajid, you on about the 1,500 tick chart on the ES, are you, bud? Looks like a lower high short on the 2,000 tick NQ, does it? Yeah, I mean, it may be. This could do anything, really, couldn't it? I would. The trouble is, you could say that's a channel in which you may think about a new high, but it could just as well be that. A leg and then down some more. But if you do think this is a channel, which, I don't know, some do, some may not. I mean, I suppose you could do. We could have a second entry long. If we get a second entry long, I'll wait for a higher low. If we get a higher low on here, then I'll be thinking about that. Likely to go long on this, so maybe I can find an entry on here. But it's just so hard. Let's have a look. We've been up to the top, down to the bottom a couple of times, up to the top, down to the bottom. I mean, you would naturally think, I'm just confused today. Yeah, it is confusing. So I am absolutely. So I'm not touching it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, until I know exactly what's going on, I won't take a trade. But we've gone from the top to the bottom, to the top to the bottom. So you would naturally think, if you get 2 legs up, 2 legs back, second entry long, and a higher low above here, then I would deem that that's pushing up then. And if we do get a second entry on here, then I may take it. But the way this is looking at the moment, I think it's very unlikely. Yeah, that's why I haven't taken a trade all day. It's just too choppy. But if we do have a break of channels, that's the place to look for them, as long as you know which direction it's going. But at the moment, this looks like it's going up. That looks like it's coming down. So, all session, yeah. No, it didn't bother me. I used to find it really hard. I think you do adjust and adapt over time. I don't know how many times, if I look back, going back maybe 8-12 months, I would not have a trade for 3 hours and I would take a stupid trade in the last 10 minutes, and it's kind of counterproductive, innit? And I don't know how many times I did that, but I think you just automatically learn. When you mess up, you just sort of learn and you just give up trying. I'll tell you something now. I can't tell you how many accounts I've blown, PA accounts, because I've come back later and thought, I'll just go along with 4 contracts and see if I can't scrappily get a couple of ticks. Just taking silly little risks, trying to get that little bit more. I can't tell you. And what I've done in the past, I've had, say, 3 or 4 PA accounts, and I've thought, I'll just have a go with one of them. I've still got 3 more. Let's have a go with one of them. And it looks like it's going up, and I've gone long maybe for 5 contracts, and I'm just scrappily going to try and get a couple of $100. I don't know how many times I've done that, and I guarantee you, if it goes against you, you'll be pissed off with yourself, and you'll say, I'll use another one, and I'll do it with another one. I can't tell you how many accounts I've blown by doing stupid stuff, trying to scrappily just get a couple of $100. I can't tell you how many I've done that. I'd say doing that, I've probably blown 15 or 20 PA accounts just doing that. And I'll tell you what I did maybe a few months ago, just before Christmas. I had 4 accounts. One of my accounts was about $100 more than the next one. And what I did, I wanted to get them both the same so I could take a withdrawal from at the same time. So later in the evening, I thought I'll take a trade for 5 contracts and just go for 2 ticks. Taking away fees, that'll get me the same level. And it went 1 tick and bounced off my order 2 or 3 times and dropped, and I ended up blowing that account just trying to get a couple of stupid ticks. And when I blew that account, I blew another one straight after, and then another one straight after, and I ended up with 1 there, and I felt physically sick. I've done all that sort of stuff. But I've learned when you get these urges just to forget it, because it doesn't work. And the only thing you can do is the one thing everyone's always been telling us to do, but we've always struggled: just follow the rules. And if you do that, you'll get somewhere. For most of us, probably 90% of us, trading isn't a problem. You know, it's not. It takes time to learn price action and to learn to read the charts. But I would say 95% of the time, losing accounts because of bad trades isn't the problem. It's losing the accounts with patience and taking stupid risks, trying to get a little bit extra, trying to get an extra couple of $100. Let's get closer to that target. And what it is, it's just that sort of little desire, an itch you've got to scratch just to try and get that little bit more and try and hit the targets. And over time, blown that many times, I've just decided just to give it all up and just sit here and take a trade. If a trade comes up, great. If it doesn't, forget it. At the end of the day, set me stream for tomorrow, shut down, walk away and think about someone else. The only time I think about charts is later in that evening when the markets are closed and I find out, I look at Mac's chart and then I work out what he marked, what I missed, and look at a few of the other streamers and chat to a few of you guys, and then I walk away then for the rest of the night. Your charts look wacky today. Yeah, they do. Whether it's my drawing or the actual market, your guess is as good as mine. But if you just follow the rules and nothing more, nothing less, you get success at this business. And I've struggled so many times, but I do feel I'm on the right. I feel like it's, the seesaw's tipped in my favour now. My skills have continued to grow. And the emotions and the silliness, the immaturity that I've had is starting to subside. So hopefully I'm in a better place than I've been. But I've done some really idiotic things. I can't tell you how frustrated. And when you start to blow an account, you probably all feel the same way. When you start to blow an account, you take a stupid and it starts to go against you. Your heart is racing. Yeah, we all do to a degree, Phil, and that's how you eventually get out of it. It's all part of nature. It's how we sort of are. It's how we're bred, really, to do stupid things, to take shortcuts, to try and get a bit more greedy, to try and break the rules a little bit. But that feeling of jumping in another trade when you know you shouldn't have done it makes you feel sick. But I can't help myself. I know exactly how you feel. That desire to trade, and especially when you see something going up, you just want to get in. But this market and these algorithms have been designed to pick off weak positions. So unless you take a good, genuine trade, you haven't got an hope. You know what I mean? And I've blown so many accounts and evaluations by doing the same stupid stuff. I would say I've blown, out of the 350 evaluations I've took, I'd say I've blown 150 of them, maybe more, trading 10 contracts. Trouble is, one losing trade, you lose the first one, you get in again, boom, you're over. You're out, it's game over. But I don't know why we do those stupid things. Emotions, frustration, wanting to get somewhere, but something's stopping you. But eventually, I'm finding now I'm stopping the silliness. I'm not doing it. And when I stop doing that, I keep my accounts longer and I take better trades and I feel less frustration and less anger and I trade better. Then you start to feel good about yourself and then you don't want to mess up. You know what I mean? And then you start to just get better. Your accounts grow. You'll start to get payments and it'll just dawn on you. Why the hell haven't I done this from day one? Emotions. Because we're not used to it. But if we continue to do this day in, day out, those emotions will start to fall off. And you'll start to realise the stupid stuff, the silly risks, the games, you know, they just don't work. We kind of already know that. But having that ability to be able to control that itch, it feels damn near impossible. But it does change in time. I've been a big advocate. The only way you ever get anywhere with trading, with the emotional sides of trading, is just time. You know, I've read so many books, you know, about journaling, about meditation, about walking away from the charts, there's so many different methods people use, but I don't think personally for me, none of them work. They may help to a degree, but ultimately when that sort of itch needs scratching, it's very hard to keep your finger off the trigger. But you just try and push it, but really we're just kidding ourselves. You know, you may get away with it once or twice, but ultimately it's a matter of time before you get your fingers, you know, smacked, and you fall back down again. But you know, what can you do? It's a horrible urge. It really is. I need to run my trades through you. I tell you what I would do, and I would honestly do this, and this is how I did it for the first 18 months. I posted my chart at the end of every day on the Facebook group and asked for some feedback. And I had, you know, some good feedback from people like from Marco and Daniel. But you know what I mean? It's how you learn. But we focus so much on the psychological side that you forget your skill is growing. You don't notice it because it happens slowly. But the way I've noticed mine lately is I don't often get trapped. I rarely get trapped now. And I would say 2 out of 3 of every trade that I lost before, it was getting trapped in the wrong direction. Now, if I'm unsure of the direction, I just stay out of it. Excuse me. And, you know, you think you need half a dozen trades a day. The best thing to do is to look for one good, solid trade a day and leave the rest. Wait for that one setup. On the odd occasion, you'll get a great setup. You know, on the odd occasion, you'll get another good setup. It does happen from time to time. I took 3 trades maybe a month and a half ago, and I swear by they were all beautiful. And I hadn't taken 3 trades like that in about 2 months. But just one trade for 2 points, good quality trade, you'll make yourself all the money you need to. You really will. But I know exactly what you mean, Phil. It is so hard. It's almost like someone just it's like a switch goes off on you and something else takes control, because you sit back after and think, what the hell happened? I swore I wasn't going to do it again. That one great trade around the corner. Absolutely. It'll come along when you're least expecting it, and you'll be sat here thinking, oh God, you said just one trade a day. I've had nothing today. And just when you're not expecting it, you'll have a beautiful trade just pop up, and there you go, you're done and dusted. But you know, see, there is a leg up, there is a higher low on the NQ, but that is just too far from the EMA for me. We may be struggling to get above here again, so it may come down, and there's nothing on here. It looks, in all fairness, this looks bloody awful. It looks much better on the NQ, but this is just a mess. It is, isn't it? It's just a mess of... so I would say that channel doesn't look too bad. It's fitting nice. We've had a break, and we've pushed up now, made a new high. So, you know, if you decide to finish now, you may come back later and it's up here. I wouldn't be shocked, but as much as we're pretty confident we know where it's going, you just can't trade it. If you don't know a setup, you have to leave it. But no, I would definitely say put your charts every day. If you're sort of newish, there are some new ones here, but there's other ones that the sort of same experience of me and more. But for the slightly newer ones who are still sort of finding their feet, absolutely put your chart on the Facebook group every day and ask for feedback, and you'll get it. And then you slowly just improve. We've hit that second leg now. Oh, let's put that back. We've hit that second leg, right the nearest tick. Always amazes me how bloody accurate those things are. Look at that. Right from there to there, back here, and then 2 legs. A leg up, 2 legs back, and another leg up. Now it's gone that way. You can kind of see it, can't you? 1 leg up, 2 legs up. After that leg, we get 2 legs down, and then 1 leg up, 2 legs up. It makes sense. But in real time, well, I mean, there's nothing there. You can't trade that at all. There's no setups there whatsoever. Even if that is a channel, which I don't like the fact that we've missed all this lot, but maybe it is. But it's just so hard. But no, it doesn't bother me. This light's not taking a trade now. It's not my job to excuse me a sec. It's not my job to take a trade in a day, or to squeeze a trade. I'll probably put that wrong, but it's my job to sit in and look for one, and when the market gives me an offer and I take it, that's all I can do. There's nothing more you can do, really. Yeah. Leg up, 2 legs back. See, I kind of looked at that, and if we get a higher low, then I may find something on here, but that higher low formed just way too far from that. Well, above this for a start, so I couldn't have taken that anyway, and there's just nothing here, unfortunately. But what frustrates me is Mac will put probably half a dozen trades. I'll tell you which trade he will probably put. I would suggest he may put that one. So we got a leg down, made 1 attempt to go high, 2nd attempt to go high, bearish bar. It's also a second entry short. That one, plenty of rooms to the low. I'd suggest he'd put that one. Unfortunately, I wasn't here then, although he'll mark it. That leg down, maybe that overshoots, big bullish bar. I don't think he'd take that one, but on my chart, there is a higher low, but it's a doji, so there's nothing I could have taken there. I don't know. Will he find something else? Maybe. But it's just so hard going. It's been really congested and whippy. Trouble is, when it's like this, unless you know what you're doing, you're screwed. Which is why I clearly haven't taken a trade today. But the trouble is, I spent so much time trying to work out what was going on and what to do. And when I hear a seasoned trader like Mac talk, he'll go, you can't trade this, just leave it. The skills trader's staying out of it. So if a skilled trader is staying out of this, the question is why? The answer is because they don't know what's going on either. So if they don't know what's going on, there's no point. And I've just given up even trying to work it out, really. When it does this, you just have to let it do its stuff. So that, I would suggest, is the only trade I can see. 2 attempts higher, and it is a second entry short as well. It's quite a big bar, but that was before hours anyway. I wasn't even at the chart then, so. Let's see where that overshoot. I don't know whether Mac had marked that. It's a bit too big a bar, I think. What is it? It's not as big as I thought. Maybe 3 points. Tick above, tick below. was hoping we may get a second entry long there, but it just didn't work. Same here. That initial push down like this, 2 attempts. That lower high there, that bar there, you can see that. That's one I would have taken. The lower high there. So we got this channel down, 1, 2 attempts to go higher, and a nice lower high. That one I'd have taken if I was trading this. Second entry short, that might not have been terrible. We've pushed above all this support here and closed. So that might not have been terrible. 1, 2, 3, you could say that's a triple test. I don't generally take bottoms, but when they're sat that nice, then I may have done, but unfortunately, nothing on this. Well, unfortunately, I think that's it for me. We're coming up on my 3 hours. That's where I tend to like to finish. Not only that, if I am going to go long in this channel, it's going to be when it's down here. God knows when that's going to be, if it ever happens. It's just clearly mainly a range day today. Whether we do get above this and push up remains to be seen. Leg and a leg, that would take us to these tops, I think, but it's just one of those frustrating days. Hopefully it won't last, but do you know, I mean, if I was to have a target for the week where I like to be, I would say 5 points, which isn't unrealistic. It's I mean, if you could get 3 winning trades in a week, excuse me, for 2 points, you've comfortably at that. And if you're trading 2 contracts, that's comfortably $2,000 a month. Which is ideal, really, I think, trading these PA accounts. So, you know, there's not a terrible amount. I think it's pretty reasonable to say you can get 5 points. Like I say, 2 trades and maybe even 1 where you come out for a point. There's 5 points. Not a huge amount, to be honest with you. I managed it last week. I think I got 4.5 points last week, about 4 3/4 the week before, so I'm getting close to it. You've only got to have a slightly better day, so even with the lack of setups, it doesn't concern me. Now it's going to rocket up. There is some orders up there at about 48. So we had this push up, little bit of sideways, 1 leg, 2 leg, and then a slow grind up. But not an easy day, not an easy at all. I mean, if you got through today without getting smashed up, you've done right, I think. It could really stitch you up. But it's a good exercise in patience. Like I say, if I finish and not taking a trade after 3 hours, I feel kind of good. I feel like I'm getting somewhere, that I haven't succumbed to, you know, that scratching that itch. I don't tend to get it anymore. I'm quite happy not taking a trade. So I reckon that's about it today. I've done my 3 hours. No trades, unfortunately, but that's the nature of the beast, isn't it? Sometimes it's hard going today, really. So that's it for today. Monday gone already. Unbelievable how quick these months are flying. But I'm away at the end of the. You guys have Easter, Good Friday and Easter Monday in the US at the end of the month. I thought you did, but I have a feeling maybe you don't. It's the 29th, which is Good Friday. You guys have that? I can't remember. I'll be away on the Friday, so the last day I'll be trading Thursday. I'll be away on the Friday and the Monday as well. I'm stopping away Friday, Saturday, Sunday night with the family. And I'll be back on the Monday, so it'll just be the Friday and the Monday. I won't be trading. Okay, so we've come up to the top again here. We've had a leg up, a break, and a leg. So there's a bearish bar there. So we are. Let's have a look at these tops, which is interesting. So whether this is not really a channel and that's just more of a channel up. I think it's more just it's got its own thing. So there's a leg and a leg. Big bearish bar there. Let's see if we get a lower high. I'd like to see this trigger and get a lower high. So we've been up here a bunch of times. It's hard to say there, really. I'm not a fan of either. Let's just remove that. Undo that. Okay, excuse me, just for... no, I'll sit here. I'll stay here. Yeah, excuse me, just for 1 minute. Okay, let's see what happens here. Trouble is we've come off this top, so I wouldn't really think about going along there. What I'd like to see is that trigger and then come down, and if we can get a lower high here, I may take that as a failed break out of this. We'll see. This looks like it's going to tank. I was hoping we get a lower high there, but unfortunately nothing as yet. Oh, there is a lower high on the 1,000 tick chart. Let's see if this holds. So there's 2 points. Maybe a case of doing less on there, but there is a lower high there. 2 points seems like a massive distance to go, to be honest with you. But so you trade in a lower time frame, you may need to adjust your profit. So that may have been a bit close to the EMA to go short anyway. Let's see if it holds. Put up here and out of the way. This looks like it's going to tank, doesn't it? See if we can get a trigger on a long gear and then a short. That's interesting. I wouldn't take that anyway. It's still in that channel, really. Last time we came off the top, we came down to the bottom. Vice versa, we're in quite a tight channel there, so that may continue on down. This could stitch you up, this could. I mean, it looks like we're pushing down. We may come down for another leg, but it could trigger that push up. I just don't like what I'm seeing. It's right around that midline. You just don't know, do you? We've come off the top, so I think there's a good chance we're going to push down. See if that bearish bar has triggered. Let's see what happens. If we do push below there, we'll get below there and any stops here. So I think the next target then is down below. Which would about right, wouldn't it? Let's see. And it needs to get lower than that for me, though. Let's see if we get a lower high here. Get below there. We're very close to any stops there. Push up, 2 legs back. We're nearly there now, so get below there and there. I'd say this is the next. There's nothing that's going to stop it, I don't think, getting down to here now. We're there now, I think. Okay, so that looks to me like we're going to continue down for that second leg. See if we can get a lower high here. See, there is a possible hidden second entry long. I would like to see that trigger because there's going to be traders thinking we're still going to be going long, and we may do. But I think with what I'm seeing here, this is going to come down here. So I think any long trade there that triggers is going to get trapped, and this is going to start to come further down here. That's my thought process at the moment. So I'd like to see this finish ever so slightly bullish and trigger. So we're sort of in the same position as here. We came down, had that bit of a pullback and came down, and when it got so far, it just dropped. So I think it's absolutely feasible. So this little bit of a pullback, I don't mind, because it would hopefully make this bar finish bullish and trigger. And if it does trigger, I'd say personally that would be a trap. I certainly wouldn't want to be going long there, especially when we're below the EMA. So hidden second entry long, I'd like to see that trigger. Okay. I'd like to see this trigger. I want this to push up just a tad higher, and if it does, okay, that's triggered. So let's see. I'm going to get a bearish
Order
a
submitted.
short ready just in case. I'd like to see that trigger and then start pushing down. Struggling to do anything at the moment. Come from the bottom to the top. Struggling to do anything, isn't it, on the NQ? Really stagnant. I'm just going to
Order
shut that
cancelled.
down a sec. So it's trying. Let me have a look.
Order submitted. Order cancelled.
Just looking at this NQ, it's trying to push down. If it gets below there, then I think there's a good chance it'll come down the bottom, but it's struggling. And the more it struggles, the more it'll give up. I mean, there is a higher low here. I just, at the moment, while price is above the EMA on the ES and below it on the NQ, looking like it may tank. I can't get into a trade. We've got a doji here, so there's, well, not quite, but yeah, just uncertain now. What do we do? Up or down? Open, same place. Close, it's same place it opens. So let's have a look at this. So there's quite a bit of congestion around here, see, so can't make its mind up. I mean, there's definitely be some longs in here, and to be fair, it's holding. But I just couldn't go along here if I wanted to, because price is below the EMA on the ES, and it's stuck in the middle of this range, so it just could come back and try it twice. Who knows? It's hard to trade today, I got to say. It could go either way. I'm just going to play this bit out, see what happens, and then I'm going to knock it on the head for the day then. I've got Paella downstairs waiting for me. See, looking on the 1,000 tick chart, it looks like a triple test. We've come down, we went once, twice, 3 times. It's also a second entry short if it forms. So you could say that is a triple test. Now we push down, we make one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher, third attempt, and also a second entry short. That's where I would have taken that trade, the lower high, which so far is in by the skin of its teeth. So if that finishes bearish, you would tend to think that would come down to at least this level. It's a bit more clear on this 1,000 tick chart. We got the level down 1, 2, 3. So it'd be interesting to see whether this does push down in the end. So that's the 1,000 tick chart. It's not as clear on here. You could say once, maybe twice, I don't know. So let's have a look. So if I would have taken that lower high, mind you, quite possibly taken it down there. Let's have a look at 0.5. Hard to say. Lower time frame makes sense to take less points. Lower time frame, lower ATR. Okay, so once, twice, 3 times. That's looking pretty significantly bearish, isn't it? It is a second entry short. That's if it finishes like that. Trouble is, this is congested. Sorry about that. Where's the sorry. Where's my little chart? Sorry about that. So I can't find where I found my 1,000 tick chart now. That one. There it is. Let's see if that triggers. Leg down. It is a second entry short, that. We got a leg down. It's a second entry short. This. 1, 2, 3. Uh, 5 more minutes and I am done. God, this is so difficult to trade today. What an ugly day. Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. It is one of the weirdest days, isn't it? We do get odd days, but this just does seem very whippy. So we've got this leg down, maybe one attempt to go higher. Let's extend that fraction to the SA. So we got a leg down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. If we can get a lower high after this bar, then I'd say there's a good chance we're going to continue down. So I like the fact that that's pushed up and it's crossed over, triggered it, and it's working its way down. Doesn't mean it's going to pull down, but if we can get a lower high, then we may have an option. Yeah, we do seem to be getting more of it, don't we? That's the frustrating thing, which I think it's why it's a good idea to sort of always sort of, develop and maybe look for other sort of, moves within your strategy that you can add to it, which is part of the reason why I want to start to learn order flow a little bit, because if I can manage to get into a trade, then maybe I can hold on for a little bit more, maybe instead of 2 points, maybe 3 or 4. At least that way, if you can get 4 points out of a trade, technically you've doubled up, haven't you? I'm not saying it'll work on every trade, certain trades, but it's got to look right. It's got to have maybe a nice leg up, a second entry, long, high, low. Something nice with the chance of pushing up. You can't just take it any old time. Really, the setup would have to be right. Okay, I think I'm done actually. Trouble is, I don't want to sit here for 4 hours and take a naff trade. I got no idea what this is doing. 1 minute it looks like it's pushing up, next minute it looks like it's coming down. And when it's like this, it is harder to trade. You got more chance of getting smashed around. You've got that leg up, 2 legs back. Trouble is, it's below the EMA. I don't like taking those trades. I kind of wait for the higher low. We had a higher low there, way too far for the EMA, so I wouldn't be thinking about going long into those tops. We had nothing here at the time anyway. If I like what it's doing here, then I'll look on here for an opportunity. But it's just been one of those days, very whippy, up and down, unclear, can't seem to make its mind up. I mean, it's pretty messy, isn't it? We got 2 legs down, 1, 2 legs up, 2 legs down, 2 legs up, but it's just whippy. Leg down, leg down. I think there's I don't know, I got no idea. Anyway, I'm not even going to pretend to think I know what I'm doing. I haven't got a clue what it's doing. Otherwise, I'd have taken some trades, but there is a possibility that it could be something like that. The trouble is, if you want to trade that, you're taking it right close to the high. So, unfortunately, it's one of those frustrating days today, but they do happen, and there's nothing you can do about it, really. Obviously, depending on your strategy, you may have a thank you, mate. I'm quite pleased if I manage to hold my patience. My patience have been better. They have improved over time, but you've just got to try and lose that urge to just trade and just wait for the setup. But it's, when you're sort of newish to it, it is very hard not to take a trade because, you just didn't. You want to get in and you want to try and make some money, but I think you learn after a while of getting battered around that you just can't do it that way. You just got to wait for a setup because the market's got a real cunning way of just smacking you up. It really has. So I don't know what it's doing. Maybe it'll show us a bit later. So if you're carrying on trading, best of luck. I hope you get something. I hope you finally get a setup. But for me, there's been nothing really. The only one I would have had a go at if I'd have been here would be that one there, the lower high, second entry short. We got this channel down. We've had a 1 attempt to go higher. Second attempt, pushed strongly through the EMA. That one I'd have taken. Plenty of room down. But unfortunately, that was around about 1:15, 20 past 1 UK time. So I wasn't at the charts then. Perhaps I should maybe start a bit earlier. I don't know, maybe. The trouble is, I hate trading pre-market because it's so damn slow. The long, as a scalper, I'd like to get in and out of the trade. I don't want to be sat in it for 20 minutes. You start to have doubts then. But I don't know what's going on here. It's a funny old day. So anyway, best of luck if you're trading. You're carrying on. Failing that. I'll be back same time tomorrow and hopefully we'll have a better day. So have a great evening, stay safe, and we'll chat same time tomorrow. Bye for now.